Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be going over another Neville Goddard lecture. It's titled Dare to Assume. It has a wonderful message and one I'd like to pass on to you guys. So I'll go through, I'll paraphrase the lecture, and we'll talk about it a little bit as we go. In this lecture, Neville emphasizes once again the power of imagination and the ability to assume the feeling of the desired outcome in order to bring it to fruition. He explains that imagination is the gateway to reality, and that by assuming the feeling of a desired state, one is able to make it real. For remember, all life is held within consciousness. The transient experiences of our lives are that akin to a kaleidoscope, with form rising out of prior forms and into new forms. The whole physical world is a transient experience of different forms, and all those forms are of the same thought substance that exists within the cosmic consciousness. He begins by discussing the story of Joseph in the Bible, who was able to interpret Pharaoh's dream and rise to power in Egypt, because he knew how to assume the feeling of the desired outcome. He explains that Joseph was able to put himself in the place of the Pharaoh and assume the feeling of having the dream interpreted, which allowed him to bring about the reality of it. In other words, Joseph, claiming that which was through assumption, he liberated himself and took control of his kingdom. He goes on to explain that the same principle applies to you and is at work in every moment of your life. He encourages you to assume the feeling of your desired state, rather than just thinking or visualizing them. He states that it is not enough to simply imagine a desired outcome, but we must turn it into a living experience. I really like the work of Joe Dispenza, which many of you might know. He is masterful at articulating this point, that we can experience something in thought that our body believes to be real physical experience. By having that real experience, we have a physiological reaction which makes new neurological connections in the brain. When we come back into the body and into the senses, we then keep that very real reaction held as a memory within our physical body. The universe then transforms to complete this experience by manifesting it on the physical plane. Therefore, though Neville speaks very simply, he teaches a very real power, and that's why I love making these videos. And by learning to assume this power, by learning to assume this ideal life properly, everything is possible. Neville himself explains that this principle can be applied to any desire, whether it be for material wealth, a fulfilling relationship, or physical healing. He encourages you to not be ashamed of something you want. If you want money, then that's all right. Claim it, assume it, and it's yours. I will add, though, that in other lectures he mentions how one must include all of humanity within your ideal. Meaning, if you see yourself as receiving money or being wealthy, then within your assumed ideal thought picture, illuminate how that is good for the whole cosmos, and illuminate that by you becoming prosperous, it does not hurt or injure others. I would suggest framing it as you becoming financially free will further unlock your gifts and capacities in which you can give to the world. That way, what you hold within your ideal does not hurt or injure anyone. Rather, it is a pathway in which the world receives something greater out of you due to your financial liberation. So again, we can assume any desire, but to do so with the frame of love and good for the whole. Furthermore, Neville stresses the importance of consistency and perseverance in assuming the feeling of the desired outcome. It is not enough to simply assume the feeling once, for that would be naive, but to continue to do so until the desired outcome is achieved. He also encourages you to not be discouraged by temporary setbacks or obstacles, as they are simply part of the process of manifesting one's desires. I am here to tell you that the better you get at bringing feeling into your thought projections, the faster you'll manifest. So stay persistent, because this is a skill that will improve with both speed and accuracy. In conclusion, Neville encourages you to dare to assume the feeling of your desired state, and to trust in the power of your imagination to bring it to reality. Through consistency and perseverance, you can bring that which you assume is already yours into manifestation. Don't get discouraged by setbacks or obstacles. If you stay the course, you can make it real. Now, I'm going to continue to summarize lots of Neville's lectures, as well as offer my own encouraging messages and insights, so I hope you join me on future videos. I hope this helps you today. I'll talk to you soon.